felt like since it took me, what, 10 or 11 days to post a video, I need to do some more quickly. So, you're going to follow me around today on my errand day. Today is a busy day. I am taking Pepper to get shaved short. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. And then I have to go to Walmart for groceries. And around 5, I'm going to stop at my son and his family's house and eat pizza. So I brought the baby with me. Don't cry. I brought her a snack, some milky in a bottle, and, ooh, I didn't bring her a new diaper. Well, when she poops in her diaper, I can think about it. I love these pretty little frilly cloth diapers. They're made so well. And they go on so much easier than disposables. You're so pretty. They make you look like a pretty girl. Don't cry. What's the matter? Maybe I can do one of those Walmart videos where you see weird people. And you ever seen those? They're really hysterical. Another thing I wanted to mention is, since I'm going to have time to kill, I'm probably going to cruise by a couple houses that I grew up. I only grew up in 2 houses in Northland. One was a farm that's been renovated, so it's not a farmhouse like it was when I lived there. It's actually beautiful, like a southern plantation, and our house was just a farmhouse. And then the other one, and I don't have the fondest of memories there. In fact, maybe I'll include some videos. I took videos last October when I came for the reunion. Hey, baby. When I came for the reunion, and it's just not one thing. I walked back to our creek because I had a lot of fond memories of going back to the creek and swimming. Taking the salt shaker to get the leeches off. You pour salt on them, they shrivel up, go off your body. And if the pump went out for water, we'd go back there and bathe. So I have some good memories, but you know, I don't want to go into it. Let's just say I didn't have the best childhood. Stuck out there on the farm was crazy. But once I got into town, my life totally changed, and I have the best memories of my teenage years, preteen, teenage years. I moved to town when I was 5th grade. Grandpa sold the farm and built a new house. And it was just the next few years until I got married. It was a great life. So I'm going to show you those 2 houses. Pepper, you're gonna get a haircut. And there's my filly with his pretty little diaper. Okay, I'm gonna narrate a little bit while we drive here. First house I'm gonna show you, just because we're driving by, is my Aunt Miriam and Uncle Howard's. They died in the mid-80s on the same day, can you imagine? Him of cancer and her of grief. They were elderly, but so am I, right? So at any rate, next to their house, I want to point out, was a family called the Daisies. They had a teenage daughter named Jewel, and her boyfriend Mark Wilson robbed and killed a woman in Winona Lake, the next little town over. Okay, My aunt's house is the second one, the white, and the first house you saw was the daisies. So he murdered this woman. Eventually he confessed, but that was kind of freaky to find out they lived, all that was so close to my aunt and uncle. Because they were good Christian people. Granted, it's not the best part of town. Okay, the house, second one on the right next to the beige one, the ugly one right over there, that's the cheapest house in Warsaw to buy. It's kind of a renovation kind of a house, so I don't think I can finance it, but if I want to live in Warsaw, that's all there is. And straight ahead is the fairgrounds. You'll see that our house that I spent my teenage years in is close to that, right across the canal. And we used to walk there every day when the fair was on in the summer. It was so cool. We'd spend all nights there. It was before, Disney World and Cedar Point. We had discovered that. So that was the big deal then. Now people don't even go to the fair. They just save up their money and go to Cedar Point. Okay, our house is down here on the right. Grandpa sold the farm and built the house around 1960. And it didn't have those four yellow poles. I used to mow that yard, so I know those weren't there. Right across the street was empty lot where we used to take the fallen limbs and basically build little forts. It was just a safe town and neighborhood. You didn't even think about crime or kidnappings or anything like that back then in the 60s. And that was the high school. It was relatively new. Now it's a middle school, and they built another new high school. And right there is where I'd walk in. And that upper window, one day we skipped school, and my friends and I were just turning the key in my door, and we turned around, and Mr. Garner the assistant principal, was watching us. Oh, we about had a heart attack. Yeah, we all got detentions. That was the only time I got a detention. I was good at flying under the radar. I think since my grade school, my first 10 years were so oppressive that once I got control over my life, I became a wild child. Not in a bad way. I just did what I wanted when I wanted. Right there's a boat on the right. We had a pontoon there. And the viaduct goes under the road, so it makes this an island. And we used to take our 99-cent rafts and go under the viaduct and fight off the spiders and squeal the whole way under it. And one neighbor fell asleep on his raft one time and found himself, when he awoke, in the middle of Winona Lake. Most of my friends lived right around in here. The house on the right, there was a house on the left. Those were my friends' area. And I didn't go down to the end of this cul-de-sac all that often. But at the end is lakefront property. And I wish my grandpa had built lakefront, to be honest with you. Or not where the cul-de-sac was, or not where the viaduct was, because, all the weeds would collect there in the summer. It was always a mess. Right there's a lake. There had a lot of pollution in that lake when I was growing up. I'm surprised we're not all dead of cancer. All the business or, the companies around dumped into the lake before OSHA passed all those regulations. So at any rate, that's my street. I'm going to show you a picture of my ex and I. During our high school years, we were sitting on the viaduct before they put the guardrail up back in 1968. So I'll show you that picture in a second. It was a good neighborhood, some professionals, some blue collar. We were sitting right there. There was no guardrail. Fairgrounds was across the street. See how dirty the water was back then? The weeds would grow. I loved that house. I had so much fun growing up there. So now I'm going to take you over to a house my ex and I were building at the time of our divorce, only because it's on the way to Walmart. And I'll show you the route I used to have to walk to school. Picture me walking from that. It wasn't as bad as walking down the lane when you're like 6 years old in the snow. But, we had to walk all this way down this street to our grade school, which is now a park. They tore that one down. I was a safety patrol on this corner for a year through school. One year at the last day of school on this train track, the kids were all going home and the train passed. They were waiting on the train, and this excited boy, last day of school, summer ahead, he dashed across when the guardrails came up, and another train was coming and killed him. And a good friend of mine, his sister was coming down the road, and he grabbed her and wouldn't let her go down there. Things like that happen, but in a small town when you know everybody, it was just really traumatic. I had a best friend that lived 2 doors to the right from this photography place. On the left is that big white house with a funeral home. Another good friend of mine was dating a guy who went home after a track meet, put a shotgun in his mouth, and pulled the trigger with his toes. So that was the first funeral I went to of a young person. It was really kind of traumatic. So that's where our school was on the right, McKinley Grade School. You know, they still meet, our 5th grade class still meets every year for lunch. I met for the first time last year when I came back for the reunion. It's amazing how little townspeople stay together. Okay, now I've skipped forward to the street that we built the house on. We had bought the lot land purchase, so we made payments on it. And yeah, there's a train track right behind it. I don't know what we were thinking. What we were thinking is it was cheap and we could pay it off. So once we paid it off and the kids were in sports, we were 10 miles out in Huffman Lake. Maybe I'll film that sometime. But we were 10 miles from town at Huffman Lake. Great area to raise kids, but our son was a good basketball player, and Warsaw won a state tournament shortly after, he got out of school. So he was really into sports, and I figured the rest of the kids would be too. That was our oldest son. So we decided to build on this lot and ended up getting divorced before it was done. It was a Miles home where they frame it up and you do the inside, and they charge you less because you do the work. And I didn't like the looks of it, to be honest with you, at the time. So it was no love lost. And we got right there's the house, and it looks pretty good now. But anyway, on to Walmart. I walked up to the house to check on Mama Cat, and I came back and I couldn't find Philly. And I came out in the yard. She had bounced down the steps and crawled out here. Can you believe that? It's pitch black. It's 9:30 at night. And she crawled down those stairs right there, flopped down the stairs, made it into the yard, and came out here. You are something else, Miss Philly. Even Laura doesn't really express an interest to come out, you know, and she could have climbed out of here a long time ago. What are you doing, Miss Philly? Huh? Did you come out here by yourself? You want to get eaten up? You're something else. I gotta watch you like a hawk. Yes, I do. You might not be able to walk, but you sure go where you want. You flopped all the way down those stairs. Came down 2 stairs, 3 to the drop-off. You flopped off the lawn chair and crawled out here. Yeah, I hear you meowing. You want Mama? You want me? Come here. Mama got you. Come on. Oh, you sweetie. Mama loves you. I do, but you scare me. I couldn't find you. I'm gonna have to shut the door from now on. You get in here, Laura. Your sister's a bad influence on you. Yes, she is. What do you think of her? These cats are getting too much. Go in your little Betty, buddy.
Allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment.
Laura, what are you doing? Laura, you looking for Philly? What are you doing, Philly? Are you encouraging Laura to come out? Look at you. Oh, there's Lulu coming